His Excellency Deputy Minister Dr. Subandi, Mr. Secretary General Dr. Oscar Ramadi, the Head of the Organizing Committee of the National Nutrition Day and the Director General for Public Health, Dr. Kirana Pitasari, ambassadors, dignitaries, guests. On behalf of the EAT Foundation, I am pleased to welcome you to the Indonesian launch of the EAT Lancet Commission, held in partnership with the Ministry of Health of Indonesia, the Ministry of National Development Planning, Bappenas, on this very special day, the National Day of Nutrition. As you would have seen on the video played earlier, the EAT Lancet Commission provides the scientific evidence that helps us finally answer the question: how can we feed the growing global population a healthy and nutritious diet without overwhelming the environment? Amidst massive global media coverage of the report, with over 5,000 articles worldwide, this is one of the first of almost 40 launch events that EAT and our partners will host. And we are very proud to start this global tour here in Indonesia. We will hear more about the Commission's work very shortly. But for now, I want to reflect on the challenges and opportunities here in Indonesia. The EAT Foundation has been privileged to have Her Excellency, Professor Nila Molek, the Indonesian Minister of Health, guide our work from our very origins as a member of our advisory board. Many of you will have been part of the Asia-Pacific Food Forum that EAT and the government of Indonesia co-hosted in October 2017. It's very exciting to see how that forum has led to tangible action and building momentum. Whether it's through today's event, the important work of the Food and Land Use Coalition, the Scaling Up Nutrition Country Network, the commitments made at the WNPG conference, or the range of programmatic activities at the district and provincial level. I would like to applaud all the actors involved with efforts that have seen child stunting levels reduce to 30% in Indonesia. Whilst there is much more to do, this demonstrates that the political commitments made at the Asia-Pacific Food Forum have led to concrete results. However, we are also seeing a rise in the number of children and adults affected with overweight and obesity. Indeed, already over 20% of adults here in Indonesia are overweight. And this is in turn driving an increased burden of non-communicable diseases. With the presentation of the EAT Lancet Commission, we will also note the incredibly rich ecosystems of Indonesia and how these ecosystems are being undermined by the very same food system that is driving malnutrition. The forests of Indonesia are home to unparalleled biodiversity, and their preservation is critical to achieving the Paris Climate Agreement. The EAT Lancet Commission considers the global dimension of these challenges, and then today we have the opportunity to discuss potential's way forward here in Indonesia. This discussion will be informed by a policy brief, which we are also launching today, held in partnership with the Ministry of Health and international think tank Chatham House. The EAT Lancet Commission and this policy brief challenge all of us to deeply consider the types of foods which we each consume, but also the kinds of foods that we make available to society more broadly, and in turn, the foods that we prioritize producing, given the combined challenges of health, environment, and economic development. One example to get us started. Let's reflect on sugar. We know it's not good for our health, and that sugar crops consume valuable land and resources. So is there more that can be done across government to ensure foods like sugar are not incentivized? And while you are here, Deputy Minister from Bappenas, I would like to express sincere gratitude for the partnership we have to co-host the first Food Systems Dialogue here in Indonesia, together with World Food Prize winner Dr. David Nabarro and his team this coming Monday. This dialogue will support the development of the National Medium-Term Development Plan, RPJMN, based on the key messages from the EAT Lancet Commission the policy brief, and the discussions during the day. Before I conclude, I would also like to formally recognize the Norwegian ambassador and his team for championing this integrated agenda and for their support of our activities in Indonesia over the past several years. Now it's time to learn more about the EAT Lancet Commission. And we are fortunate to be joined today by two renowned scientists, one from environment, one from health, both with significant experience of the Indonesian context. I'd like to welcome my colleague, Dr. Brent Loken, the Director of Science Translation for EAT and the leader of the Secretariat who put together the EAT Lancet Commission. He is currently based at the Stockholm Resilience Center in Sweden. Originally from Canada, he has lived in Indonesia for 7 years, and he continues to hold a strong bond to this country and its people. I am also honored to introduce Professor Rina Agustina, a medical doctor and world-leading nutrition researcher at Universitas Indonesia. Professor Agustina obtained her PhD from the University of Wageningen in the Netherlands and served as an EAT Lancet Commissioner. Just last month, she was recognized with a dedicated profile in medical journal The Lancet for her leadership on research and improving health outcomes. Please join me in welcoming them on stage. Thank you.